I've wanted to make this video for a long time. Now, you may have seen before a website called wish.com. It looks like, on the face of it, it's a really good deal because you get loads of stuff that you would otherwise get for quite expensive, like magic wands, for really, really cheap. Like this sort of cheap. Kind of bonkers. And so I thought, well, every week on my live stream I do something called Real or Fake. So let's play
Real or Fake.
Okay, so we're going to do like our first ever Real or Fake on an actual video. And the whole idea is that I'm going to show you two wands and you're going to tell me whether they're real or fake. Now the other thing is that I don't actually have a huge amount of real wands to compare with wish.com wands. I've only got two. But I figured, well, I was going to do a reveal on one of the wands and then another video on another one of the wands, and then I thought, actually, let's just show you how poor quality wish.com is. And this isn't absolutely slating wish.com. There's loads of videos out there on YouTube that do that already. I don't need to do that. So if you want to watch this, it's coming up after this. Hello and welcome back to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name's Neil Trigger, I'm going to be your magical host, and in today's video I'm going to be comparing wish.com wands with real wands and telling you which one I think is better. And I don't think that's going to be much of a shock what I actually come up with. So the first one was Hermione Granger's wand, which originally looked like this. Okay, there's the first wand. What a massive disappointment. This is banana yellow. This is Hermione's wand with all the vines down it when it first arrived from wish.com. And here it is. I'm actually going to turn off the green screen effects as well, just so that you can see things a little bit better, so that you can get better colour grade and that sort of stuff. So let's turn that one off. Here we have Hermione Granger's wand. I've repainted this and I did a tutorial on it and I'll put the link up there. So this is what the Hermione Granger's wand finally looks like. Now I thought I'd got this wrong in as much as I thought I'd made it too dark. Clearly the one before it, the banana yellow one, that was way too light, but I thought this one had possibly gone a little bit too dark. However, when I received the actual real one from Noble Collection, here it is, they're not far off, and if anything this one's a little bit darker. So I think I've done a pretty good job on the paint job. Now you can see that the real one versus the fake one, the real one's a lot thinner, it's a lot more delicate. This one isn't too bad, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on this completely. But the fact that it was banana yellow and the fact that you can see the seam as well, so down here you can actually see, if you zoom right in, you can actually see that there is a seam, and I guess you call it a mould line really. I think that actually causes, it makes this one far more inferior. And also it looks like it's been ground down a little bit, maybe with an angle grinder or something like that. The tip here is quite rough as opposed to the real wand, where it's actually smoothed off and actually fairly flat at the end, whereas this one has like flashing and stuff like that, so it could be sanded down, this one maybe. At the end here is very, very clean indeed, whereas at the end here it's almost like they weren't quite sure how to terminate this. So this one has one lip, this one has like two, even three at one point, which is very odd. And also if you compare the size there, it's significantly thicker on the wish.com one, like 1.5 times the size. Now although I painted this myself, on some of the raised areas it is actually coming off a little bit, it's like chipping off, and that wouldn't really be too much of a problem because it is fairly subtle anyway. But because the base colour was banana yellow, like properly yellow, it wasn't a little bit brown, sort of light brown, it was totally banana yellow. And because of that, when it is chipping off, it's really, really obvious. So if you're going to go for a wish.com wand, then you just got to be aware of that. I personally would prefer to get the genuine thing, because it really bugs me when people do knockoffs of stuff. However, I can understand why you would want to go for this one as opposed to this one, simply because this one's like £27, including delivery, admittedly, but this one's £3. So the price difference between this one, £27, and that one, £3, is 24 quid. So you can get an awful lot of these for the price of a single one of these. So if all you want to do is to give it to kids, just to swish about and hit the dog, don't hit the dog. If all you ever want to do is just to give them to kids, then the Wish.com ones are absolutely fine, and you can paint them yourselves and get a pretty good equivalent. I mean, it's not screen accurate by any means, it's not even close really, certainly when it comes as banana yellow, but it's not too bad. So if all you ever want to do is just to give it to kids for a party so that they can swish it about and pretend to zap each other, perfectly valid. But for me, I prefer that one. Okay, so that's Hermione Granger's wand. Let's move on to Voldemort's wand. Now, Voldemort's wand looks like this. It looks like a carved bone, really. And it's got this lovely hook here, and then almost like a wrist bone, I suppose, with a nasty little barb on the end and a barb here. But it does fit really well into the hand. Or you could hold it that way and it can hook around your little finger, which I think is how he holds it, like this. So he sort of holds it like this, almost like he's presenting something. And it's got these little indents here. I don't quite understand why, but if you look really closely at this part, other than the Time Warner or Warner Brothers or whatever, Warner Brothers Entertainment Incorporated, I think it is, WBEI. Aside from that, this part actually looks kind of similar design to the Harry Potter wand, and I think the reason for that is because they have the same core. However, other than having the same core, they could not really be more different. And I think Ollivander, designing this one, kind of knew it was for a baddie, because this does not look like a goodies wand. However, let's have a look at the Wish.com wand, which is a very similar design, but it's not exactly the same. It's definitely not the same colour. I mean, this is the same problem with the Hermione Granger wand coming out banana yellow. This is bone white. And when I say bone white, I don't mean bone white, I mean like white. That's bone white. It's kind of more of a sort of yellowy brown. That one is totally white. The other thing on this one though, that I didn't even realise until I got the genuine one, was that these appear to be claws. But on the actual wand, it doesn't look like that at all. And it shouldn't look like that. It should look more like a bone. So yeah, the moulding on this isn't too far off, but I don't quite know what happened here. It's almost like someone just grabbed it and hooked it like that. Whether that was a mistake or deliberate, I'm not really sure. It's not far out. But there are so many differences in it. Like this is a little bit more raised than here, and that is shallower than that. That's quite deep. So whether that had melted or something, I don't know. I mean, from my point of view, I think it would be a lot easier just to take one of these, bung it in silicone and create another one. I think if you did that, this would be an awful lot more real. This one would be an awful lot more realistic. And also I think you'd have fewer mould lines as well, because even on this one you do still have mould lines, whereas on this one you don't. I just thought I'd show you guys these wands simply because I want to show you what you get for your money. If you want a Wish.com wand and all you do is just swish it about, you could repaint these if you wanted to, if you're really finicky, or otherwise just give them to kids, and that's absolutely fine. But bear in mind that sort of thing, if you clobber them with that end, or if the kids clobber each other, more importantly, don't clobber kids, it's not a good idea. If you were to hand these to a child and they were to whack each other with them, that could really hurt. That could cause potentially some serious damage, especially if you did it that end. You could get a decent leverage on that. The other one that I did have was Ron Weasley's one, but I threw it away because as soon as it came out of the packet it was broken. And I think the reason being is similar to this wand here, I don't know whether you can see that on camera, but there's a tiny little air bubble, and the problem was that I don't think they use like a metal core, whereas these ones have a metal core. Not Phoenix Feather, sorry about that. This one has a metal core, so that if you do swish it about and it flexes a little bit, it's reinforced so it can actually stay together. Whereas with this one, it's pure resin all the way through, I believe. Certainly the Ron Weasley one was. So the fact that it's got an air bubble here, hopefully the light's catching that so you can see it, and one here as well. The air bubble on the Ron Weasley wand was just there. I mean, this one's got blemishes already, but it doesn't actually have any air bubbles as such on the wand shaft. But the problem is that if an air bubble appears here, it will significantly weaken the wand. And so, yeah, just an air bubble just there. You wave it about or drop it, or it gets jostled in the post, it will break, and that's exactly what happened to mine. It did break. Which was disappointing, but let's face it, it was £3. I could live with it. If something like that happened with Noble Collection, I'm sure I could contact them and just say it appeared, it was broken, give me a new one, and they would. So this is the thing about the customer service side of things. When you're paying £27 per wand, you're going to get a lot better customer service than with Wish. With Wish, it's almost, hey, this is wrong, and they're like, up yours, I don't care. So, I mean, for £3 including delivery, yeah, you can kind of get that. I understand that. So when it comes to Wish.com versus Noble Collection, I really don't think there's a comparison. Clearly for the price, these ones aren't terrible, but for a true collector, you've got to go for the real thing. Absolutely got to. There just isn't an option. The production quality on these ones as opposed to those ones, admittedly you're paying for it, but I think you really do get what you pay for. Okay, now I am going to be getting some other real wands. I've got some other fake wands that I can reveal a bit later on, but I'm currently building up my collection. I've got 10, 14, 15, 16, there's another 2 there, and then there's 8 behind that, so quick maths. And another 2 up there as well. So I do have quite a few wands, and I am going to be doing a proper showcase of every single wand, which one's my favourite, that sort of stuff. So if you'd like to see that, drop a comment down below. Now if you want some awesome benefits like these amazing people did, just click on that join button down there. It starts at £1.99 a month, and it goes up to like 30 odd quid for a proper selection box. Not selection box, what do you call them? Subscription box. Oh. You get loads of cool benefits like a wizard apparition license with animated personal face thing, which is cool. You can also get Frank, our talking elephant, to say hello to you personally by name on our live stream, which happens every Saturday at 6 PM UK time. You can get discounts on my shop, you can get discounts on all of my items, you can get free stuff, you can be entered into free prize draws, and you can get some free videos as well, such as the Wizard Apparition lesson, which is only going to be available to members. Now my members only videos are not like any other members only videos, they are only the best stuff. So only the best stuff ever gets released to only members. And it's just my way of saying thanks ever so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. So if you want to be one of those amazing people, click on that join button down below. It starts from £1.99 a month, and you can join our wonderful magic community, which will be amazing. Also, if you did like this video, please drop a like, because that tells YouTube that it was a good video and more people should see it. It changes the algorithm somehow. No one knows how. Everyone pretends to know. No one really knows. Also, if you want to see some more of this sort of stuff, click that subscribe button and ding the bell. By dinging the bell, it allows you to know when I go live and when I drop a new video, and we can be best friends. Okay, so that's it from me for now. Thanks ever so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll be back next time with some more magical awesomeness. But until next time, as always,
Stay magical! Please subscribe to Real World Magic. While you're there, click the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and have a look at all of my social stuff. Remember to donate on Patreon if you really liked it, and I'll see you again next week.